Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of Partnerships in SaaS. I'm your host, Barrett King, and with me today is Eran. He is the founder of PartnerNow, and I'm super excited because we actually had a different discussion off camera about the topic for today. And one of the things that came out of it was this idea of amplifying partnership function within a company. Before I give all the kind of spoilers away, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, Barrett. Great being here.
Yeah, it's really my pleasure. Truly my pleasure. And I'm excited because you bring a real plethora of knowledge in terms of your own experience. Before we get into the meat of it, though, I want to understand, I love to ask every guest this that I possibly can. What does partnerships mean to you? And I asked before in the kind of precursor stuff, and you said partnerships are an extension of your sales, marketing, and product teams. That word extension is really unique. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we live in a very interesting world, which surrounding us with lots of different set of partnerships. And it's actually building a very complex ecosystem. And once you look at the ecosystem, and you have to look at it from a different set of glasses, you find out that when you go about and build your partnership, it's all about how do I extend my current team profession ability beyond the borders of my company. So looking into the bigger world on how to take my know-how, knowledge, product, platform, and how do I extend that into my larger audience, my customers, where my partners are, which ones are my partners, how then I can simply multiple or empower my internal teams via partnerships. And that's exactly what I'm trying to convey and build together with my customers, working through a series of conversations on what partnerships for them is all about. And that's the meaning of making the most of what you're trying to achieve via a set of other expand tools via those partners.
Yeah, it's a really good call out there. The last statement you made around that it's the expansion of the resources you have, it's leverage, it's opportunity beyond the four walls of your business. Absolutely. And the way that you're established. And your comment around this idea of augmenting your team, giving them more tools, more reach, more ability to deliver value to your customer, certainly deliver value to your business in terms of growing your own, opportunity set. It's a really good call out. And the thing that stands out to me, I obviously asked this idea of like, what's your B2B, your go-to-market superpower. And you talked about helping B2B startups and growth stage companies to optimize and build really strong ecosystems. I think at its foundation, what I'm hearing you say is that the ecosystem itself should be based off of not just that mutual, beneficial relationship in terms of how the customer wins better and you win better. But what I'm hearing is how your team wins better, how your internal marketing, sales, product teams can actually go to market more effectively with businesses. Is there something in context of that you've learned in your experience that from a tools perspective, that somebody who's maybe in your ICP, somebody who's a B2B company that is building their ecosystem, some advice you'd give, some feedback, ideas around when they start out, when they think about, looking for those partners, how are they determining what extension they need for their marketing, for their sales, for their product teams? How do they go about that process?
It's a great question. And I think it's all matter of function. So if we look into partnerships, every partner has a function, basically. So you can look at those partnerships from inside out and from outside in. Okay, so we're talking about amplification of your sales, marketing, operation team. How do you go about that, right? Look at the eyes of those teams, the challenges that they have, the goals, their journey, where are they starting, where they want to get to. and look into the partner and which partner can use for that specific function in your journey moving forward. So another interesting angle to that is to understand that every partner can use a different function for a different company.
I want to hear, so talk to me about that, because I know function is a very important part of this concept. What does that mean to you? What does that mean so the listener can understand as you talk about this? What does function, that word, mean in this context?
So if we look at the classic model of partnerships, so most of the companies are looking into partnership as if, okay, provide me some leads, assist me on getting into a specific set of customers. This is my ICP. I would like to enrich my deal of flow of deals. So this is a function. This is just one function that a partner can be or be not, right? And can assist you on expanding your reach, building your brand recognition, assisting with specific tools of sales tools. If those partners has a big team of SDRs, for example, it can of course provide you with that set of functionality. But there's so many other functions that can be integrated or achieved layer on top of layer. For example, a marketing function. Maybe that specific partner has a great marketing engine that can assist you to leverage the voice of the vendor within the audience of the partner. And maybe they would like to get into a more marketing functionality just because it's part of their, I guess, next step of go-to-market strategy. But you need to explore that.
That's interesting. So the opportunity then becomes for the business looking to partner. You're talking about obviously extending the reach of your existing teams. What you're describing to me is this thought process of identify perhaps first values, first functions. What are the things that you can look for as I would say lead in, but an initial way of interacting, that initial value prop. But then to continue to expand that value and think about the additional functions that someone can deliver. So are you then, I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts on this. When you're talking about the function itself, are you categorizing partners in the ecosystem based on that? Like, do you have, these are our marketing services partners, these are our, ad services partners, these are our sales services partners, or do you think of them as partner and then perhaps sort them differently based on that categorization you're talking about?
I think it's a great question, but just to make things a little bit simpler for most organizations, because you don't want to make it super complex. And you have to make sure that, at least from the get-go, you understand where those partners are within each and every bucket. It might as well, you find out that a partner can be in multiple buckets from the get-go, and it's fine because it's a bigger partner, more mature. There is a super alignment between the vendors and the partners from the get-go, and that's okay. But in most organizations, yes, you have to understand which buckets you would like to engage first, because there's fewer resources as we're moving forward as a company, and you would like to maximize that as much as possible, right? So pick the right buckets for you, but don't eliminate those buckets that might be better engaged earlier than later.